You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
And this is our pick show for Week 14, the week we break out of our slow losing streak. And maybe go to a fast losing streak. I mean, that can always happen. It's fucking
depressing.
Oh, I was doing the numbers for us tonight, and as I said, death by 1,000 cuts. We were, up 112, and now we're up 60 odd dollars. So I'm not enjoying that.
No, time to get it back before the playoffs so we can bet even more.
That's exactly it. All right, with that said, is it that time, Boyd?
It sure is.
It's motherfucking game time!
That's right. It's motherfucking game time. The Thursday nighter this week is Minnesota goes to the desert. They are 7.5 point underdogs. We don't bet Thursday games as a rule. Really?
It intrigues me a little, yeah.
Or are you just pissed off at Minnesota?
No, just getting boot stomped and then having a short week against the best team in your conference on the road.
You think Arizona's better than Carolina?
Neutral field? Probably.
Okay. They're equivalent.
Especially some of the games Carolina's won against some pretty crappy teams. We've talked about this before. The teams that are with the best records aren't as dominant as we remember teams being that were 12-0. Like, to me, a 12-0 team should have, or an 11-0 team going into New Orleans should have fucking curb stomped them when you're great.
Yeah, but there's only two, I guess, undefeated teams through the regular season. Everyone takes a surprise, right?
Yeah. But I was expecting more out of Carolina against New Orleans than having to come back in the last 5 minutes to win the game.
Well, that said, I still don't think Greg Olsen fumbled there. There's 7 points right there. But in any case, I'd like to stay away. I'm going Arizona at home. My 80% play on Thursdays is the home team. 7.5 is just too much for me to be comfortable when they struggled mightily with San Francisco and, I believe, Atlanta when I was updating our picks. So,
and they got beat. Who beat them at home? The Rams.
Yeah, the Rams beat them at home. But the
Vikings,
they're frauds. You're right.
Vikings.
Yeah, but we made our money off the Vikings, and now I think it's time to step off the bus.
They beat the teams that they should beat, but when they have to play a good opponent, they haven't been good.
Yes. Yeah, you said that last night, and you were 100% right. I think they're not as fraudulent as, say, Atlanta or the Jets with that record, but they're a legitimately above average team. They're not terrible.
But this is where, and I said this earlier in the year, that Bridgewater, his throwing motion, and didn't know how good he was. When you get a defense that can stop the run, he gets exposed.
It's true, but perhaps Adrian Peterson should have gotten the ball more than 5 times. I mean, now we're getting into the notion that maybe Norv Turner isn't even a good offensive coordinator.
Well, no. They were down 21-0 relatively quick in that game.
And then you've got lots of games to get back. Like, to rejig your whole game plan because you're down, I think is foolish as well.
No, but 28-0 in the second quarter, you're going to still keep handing it to Adrian Peterson 10 times a drive?
Yeah.
No. You can mix them in. Maybe you should have got 15.
Yeah,
But I
15 to
don't think
20
it matters.
carries. But in any
Bridgewater,
case...
they're not designed to come from behind.
No, they're not. And Bridgewater, I don't know what it is. When I watch it, I don't care that much about a strong arm in a quarterback. But Bridgewater's looks fatally weak to me when I see him throw a ball.
The whole motion, everything's coming, and it's not like he's throwing sidearm like Rivers to avoid a guy with his arms up.
Yeah, and Rivers can still flip it 50 yards
from-
sidearm.
No, but he throws it from his fucking armpit every time. The ball gets as high as his armpit. It's coming out like that. I don't know how you're accurate in the NFL with throwing motion like that, and he hasn't proven to be well. He was accurate last year in the last stretch, wasn't he? 70-something.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen his numbers this year about accuracy.
Yeah, but okay, those numbers can be fucking misconstrued too because they throw for 170 yards a game.
Yeah.
Fuck. You see the stats come across watching during the games, and you'll see quarterback 7 of 11 for 56 yards. Oh, great completion percentage. He's at 70%, but he's not accomplishing fuck all when you're just checking it down for a full quarter. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust Bridgewater at all. I got the Cardinals here as well. All right, next up, we have Atlanta plus 7.5 at Carolina.
I don't want to touch this either.
No. Carolina's not going unbeaten. They proved that the big point spread. It is in Carolina, but I saw a lot of little holes in that Carolina game last week.
Only problem is, can Matt Ryan exploit it?
Oh, he's been terrible.
Well, they were 6-1 at one point, I believe.
I believe so. And I
And
called
they're now
them frauds
6-6.
then.
Yeah.
I mean, if Josh Norman, who, I don't know if they were rotating coverage or they just had no idea who to cover on New Orleans principally, but either he was getting beat or he was always on the wrong guy. But we all know who the number one guy is in Atlanta.
Yes.
I'm interested mostly to see if he can shut down Julio.
Well, you won't shut him down completely, but yeah. Their biggest thing will have to be, I think, the run game. Because Atlanta their offense hasn't been explosive since about week 5. When everybody thought, I can't remember, was the last week when they put up 48 on the Texans? Was that their last really good week?
No, I think they had a week after that where Freeman got another 3 touchdowns or something. But, that's a lot of points.
And they've already clinched the division. I think that was part of it, too, against New Orleans. You see, you've already clinched before you start your game. Mindset changes a little bit, even though you'd like to think it wouldn't.
Yeah, home field's getting close to being locked.
Well, who's even close to them? Is there anybody even close?
Zona.
10-2?
Yeah. This is a hard pick.
I gotta go Carolina. Fuck. We fucked up last week not taking Arizona against St. Louis. But the way Atlanta's been playing the last month and a half, fuck, how are they capable of keeping this close? In Carolina? Man.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Atlanta. I think 7.5 is too much.
This could get ugly like the Redskins game did.
It's possible. It's totally possible, but I'm not sure about 7.5.
They have no pass rush. and they have no offensive line. So that's usually where you win and lose games.
Yeah, but they don't have Brandon Browner to pick on either. God, he was terrible. All right, next up. I'm on Atlanta, but I might change that by the end of the pod. I just took way too many favorites last week and got burned. All right. Next up, we have Buffalo -1 at Philly. I don't hate Buffalo in this position.
Okay. No, I don't either.
Okay.
Philly's not going to get 3 return touchdowns in this game, or it's highly unlikely they do.
I think there's a huge letdown for a team that's, I guess, not theoretically irrelevant, but mostly irrelevant.
No, but they don't think they're irrelevant.
Well, I mean, they're
this
tied
game,
for
you could
first
be in
in the
first
East,
place.
aren't they?
Yeah. Washington still holds the tiebreakers, so they're technically in first. But that could change by the end of the week.
I don't see Darren Sproles running free. I mean, Buffalo's defense is a lot better than New England's defense.
Yes.
I do not believe in Bradford at all. I think he's complete garbage.
They don't have, outside of Sproles at running back, Matthews might be back. He's still dealing with concussion issues. DeMarco Murray apparently went to the owner to complain about Chip Kelly's offense.
Oh, he lied to him about his role. What? You should be
you're
grateful
gonna play
anyone
running back.
gave you that money.
You're going to play running back. You knew your role going in.
Well, I know. And how many running backs sign for that kind of money off a 400-touch season? He should have been thanking God that he got the guaranteed money he did, because
it doesn't even matter how many touches. In this day and age, they don't pay running backs this much.
Yeah.
He should just be thankful for that. If he had 200 touches,
exactly.
got that money, he should have fucking knelt down and kissed Lurie's feet.
Yeah, and just sewed his mouth shut. Like, I thought that was a very foolish move.
This should get you more touches. Go above my head to the owner. When he shipped everybody else that's challenged his authority out of town. Yeah, that's going to work. Good call. Good career advice you got from whoever was fucking whispering in your ear. Probably his fucking
cousin.
His fucking posse. Yeah, they're disrespecting you, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking get out there. You're better than that. I can fucking just hear it. Because who the fuck does that?
Yeah,
Isn't
I mean,
that something your agent handles? Isn't that something your agent handles? And
even,
doesn't make it sound like it's you sending them, for fuck's sakes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the agent not only put this bug in his ear, but didn't fall on the sword for it. Just ruined Murray's brand in a big way. Because who really wants to sign the guy who's going to try to go to the owner and complain about their role?
And when has this ever worked? When has somebody went to the press or went to upper management to complain about the role, and then their roles changed dramatically after that meeting?
There's probably a Cowboy somewhere there where it worked, but that's a strange owner. But so I think this one's in the mix, maybe?
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't see a lot.
And let's not forget, previous to their fluky shocker versus New England, Philadelphia had given up 45 points to successive opponents.
Yeah.
Just because they beat New England, I'm not about to give them value.
No, and Tampa runs similar offense, I think, because the quarterbacks are very similar. Winston and Taylor.
Good point.
And gave him fits. And Buffalo can run the ball, seemingly. And don't forget, it's LaShawn McCoy's return to Philly.
And Yeah. I mean, that's a minor factor, but
Well,
Watkins,
no, but he got dumped.
Watkins has been playing really well lately, too.
Yeah, but McCoy got dumped for Murray.
Yeah,
Don't
all right.
think that fucking stings?
Yeah? Yeah, I mean, he did bring it up. I mean, I like to play down that sort of aspect because they're all professionals, but maybe they aren't.
Well, you still have you get dumped for a guy that's done nothing basically this year in an offense where you thrived. And I don't even understand the reasoning for it. To me, McCoy fits that offense better than Murray in Philly. It made no sense. You traded one guy who was
I thought he was
better
just
suited for the offense for a guy who wasn't really used as a pass catcher out of the backfield in Dallas, that's what you run.
well, and straight ahead running, but like Ryan Matthews, if he could ever stay healthy, is a great fit for that offense. But when he traded McCoy, I thought, okay, he's just going to go cheap at the running back position.
Yeah.
But to take all that money and more and spend it on a guy who has one good season on his resume, when seriously he was the offense, just crazy move. All right, moving on. We have Detroit at St. Louis. Detroit are 1-point underdogs.
This is our underdog pick.
It's certainly in the mix. I don't disagree. I know. Here's the thing. There's some sort of karma between you and Fisher. So as soon as we bet against him, he's going to fuck us.
No, we bet with him and he fucked us in Washington. We thought, here the Rams are going to be okay.
Oh, I know. This guy's your
not.
voodoo doll. Or has got a voodoo doll of you, more accurately.
No, we have to take advantage.
I know.
Quit.
No.
They've quit.
And Detroit feels like they won that last game.
Yeah.
They're angry, if anything.
No, they've been playing really well the last month.
Yeah, the defense has been playing well and still played well, with the exception of, as we discussed in the last night's podcast, the complete defensive collapse on the Hail Mary.
And how can we not bet against Nick Foles, who has no wide receivers to throw to? And if you can stop Aaron Rodgers for 3 quarters, you shouldn't have a problem with Nick Foles and Tavon Austin and Kenny Britt.
And Detroit's run defense has been really stout lately. Everything about this I like. I'm with you. So that is in the mix as well.
And that'll be on the money line, by the way.
Oh, at 1 point? What? We might get a push with all the missed extra points this fucking year.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a fuck?
Yeah, our usual, if it's under 3, we take the money line. We might have to take a look at that after some analysis of the kicking.
Nah, I'll never stop that philosophy.
Okay, well, we'll discuss that in the
Because
off season. We're not going to change this week.
If it's no, and if that causes it, well then fuck us. But the odds
that's what the gambling gods have been saying to us for about 5 weeks. Fuck us.
It hasn't been missed extra points that have fucked us. It was fucking ugh. I'm still sick. I lost 3 games to you on fucking coin flip games and
one absolute
touchdowns.
Bullshit game, and then, though admittedly, I think, if Nat Schwab didn't gift Miami a pick 6, as he always does, Baltimore's still better than that sad sack Miami crew. All right, moving on. The next game, Indy is off the board at Jacksonville. Who is going to quarterback those division-leading Colts? Yeah.
Why, is Hasselbeck hurt?
Yeah, that's what I thought. He had back problems.
I didn't hear any of that. Oh, well, he is 40.
Yeah.
At 40, I couldn't see taking an NFL hit.
Oh,
myself.
good God. I couldn't have taken one at 25. I mean, guys who made it into big colleges quit their colleges because Junior Seau was hitting them. And there's just like, no.
It's Clipboard Jesus.
Charlie Whitehurst?
Back. Yeah.
All right.
Clipboard Jesus could be getting the start. Because the Titans released him. This was like 3-4 weeks ago, and the Colts picked him up. And they thought that was a block to keep him away from the Texans.
Okay.
After Hoyer got hurt.
Man,
So
however that guy markets himself, he's a goddamn genius.
I'm just trying to figure out how you can wear a football helmet with a man bun, but I guess we'll see.
He can do it.
I saw him I forgot he was there, and I was flipping channels in one game, and they showed him on the sideline standing beside the coach. I went, oh yeah, Charlie Whitehurst, everybody's favorite backup. And he's serviceable. Like, he's not.
No, he understood what he was
Yates?
capable of. Remember when Seattle signed him to be the starter? That was nothing short of hilarious. You know, signed him out of San Diego. We got a compensatory pick. And then we got him back for pennies on the dollar a couple of years later until Tennessee paid him $10 million. Oh, man. We just talked about bad agents. Whoever reps Charlie Whitehurst is a fucking genius.
That's crazy.
I think we had this discussion in an off-season podcast, but has anyone made more money per play on the field in the NFL than him?
Yeah, the fucking Flynn from the Packers.
Yeah, okay, let's say a minimum of 200 actual plays recorded.
Well, you're saying he got fucking paid. Where did he go from the Packers?
Was it Atlanta?
No, Seattle. What? No, was it Seattle? Did Seattle do it again? I know he went to Oakland at one point for a short stint, but he went somewhere after Green Bay for big money after that one game when he threw 5 touchdown passes in the last regular season
against Detroit. Yeah, and that made Detroit go to face New Orleans when they were good.
Yeah,
we bet heavily on Detroit in that game, as I recall.
Well, of course we did.
Okay, well, we can't bet this anyway. I think this is probably going to end up at about 3 points for Jacksonville.
Yeah, if Hasselbeck starts, it'll be, I bet you -1 or -2 Indy. If it's Whitehurst, it'll probably be the other way around for Jacksonville.
I'm just taking Jacksonville home field.
Me too.
Oh, no, I meant -3 anyway.
Oh, no, I'm taking Jacksonville in this game.
Oh, yeah, as far as the pick, I think it's still going to be Jacksonville favored by 3, regardless of how the QB shakes out in Indy.
Nah, if Hasselbeck starts, Indy will be the favorite. They were only 3-point dogs in fucking Pittsburgh with Hasselbeck. And the Jags are 4-8.
Yeah, but the Jags can score.
Well, some weeks. Remember the first Titans game? 1916?
Yeah.
But you know what? And this is crazy to say, but Bortles looked better when he didn't have Hearns and Robinson in together. When he just, like, when Stafford has just Calvin Johnson to throw to. The offense is geared towards them.
Yeah, I hear your theory here. I didn't watch enough of the game to get that.
It looked like a totally different offense with just Robinson out there against Tennessee. Totally different offense.
Interesting. But I took Jacksonville at home, too. They let me down, but who the hell really anticipated your Titans putting up over 40? We both took Jacksonville last week, so.
That's going to be our new normal next year, Mariota's second year.
He still looks good, man.
Yeah.
I'd like to mock you for that exuberant statement, but he looks good every time I watch him.
You can mock me all you want. I was advocating trading the pick for Phillip Rivers. So,
all right.
I'm glad I'm finally wrong on one of our quarterback picks.
Hey, once you've been beaten down so many times, I understand the mindset.
Well, in college, he seemed to be the same as younger Locker. Ran the same kind of offense in college. What made me think he could transfer his skills? I've been told that for fucking 20 years, that these guys running these fucking spread offense, up-tempo shit, we're going to somehow revolutionize the NFL. But Mariota's actually a pocket passer, so...
But he wasn't accurate from everything I read about him in college, and when I watched him,
he was in the mid-60s in college.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was high percentage.
Okay.
In college, but it came in that fucking 5 wide all the time, and the read option.
I don't care if you hit your targets. It's still my knock on Cam Newton.
No, but you're in college. You play 2 tough games a year. So if you're that much better than everybody else physically, you win.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't watch college.
Wins. Well, no, you just have to watch the SEC. I've told you that for 100 years. Watch the SEC and the big the big conference matchups, because they're always good. There's always, like, Ohio State's always good in the Big Ten. And the SEC, you can turn on pretty much any game outside of South Carolina, Tennessee in the last 5 years, and if it's a conference matchup, it's going to be good football.
Okay. Well,
that's all you have to really watch. And there's 1 or 2 odd teams that come out of the pack every year that are good.
We drifted off the path. We got to get back on here.
All right.
All right. Next up, we have New Orleans +4 at Tampa Bay.
I would love to bet this game, but I don't trust Tampa.
No, I don't yet. We took them against Indy. They're just not that good. They're acceptable, and they're progressing. 4 is too much to lay on Tampa Bay right now.
Yeah. But which New Orleans team's going to show up? And is Sean Payton going to actually coach this game, or
I think they're going to
6 points like they did against Houston?
I think that they're going to try to torment the rest of the South. And for that reason, I'm taking New Orleans in the points.
No, I'm taking Tampa.
All right.
Can't have one good game against Carolina and then make me think they're not.
That said, I really have no idea in this game. Tampa Bay, I think, is the better
You'll
team.
You'll beat me on this one.
Yeah, well.
Because you win these fucking coin flip fucks. It's been the bane of my existence since every football fucking pool I've ever been in. I seem to somehow magically pick these coin flips fucking wrong every week.
Okay.
They had a good start. They had a good stretch at the start of the year. A couple of 6 and 10s will put you right back down to earth.
Yeah, well, I'm chasing, I think, 3 back, but obviously my record keeping is poor, so I've got to check that. Anyway, next up, we have Pittsburgh +3 at Cincinnati. I want no part of this, Boyd.
No, me either.
These are 2 good but flawed teams.
I don't know what's making me think this, but I kind of like the Steelers in this game.
I do too. That said, I certainly don't want to bet it.
No, but the 2 big games, well, the one big game, since like the Texans game wasn't a big game.
No, that was what I was talking about with an undefeated team losing focus for a bit. They all do.
But then they lost their next big matchup too. Who'd they lose?
It was Arizona in the desert, and they covered.
Yeah, but they lost still.
Yes. No, I'm leaning towards the Steelers here as well.
Oh, you're no fun.
Well, you know, I've been a proponent of Cincy's since the preseason, but Pittsburgh's offense, when it clicks, is probably the best offense the Bengals have faced. And they injured Le'Veon Bell in the last contest. And I think that shocked Pittsburgh.
How?
And they didn't adjust during the game because Tomlin's not a great coach, by the way.
But how is it that Odell Beckham gets more press than Antonio Brown? Antonio Brown's the best wide receiver on the fucking planet.
It's because it took him 4 years to become the best one. That's my only explanation. I agree with...
Last year.
Pardon?
Beckham wasn't the best receiver in football last year, and he
over the 10 games he played, he was, and plus he makes those highlight one-handed grabs. Though half the time, put the second hand on it. You know, it's available. But I agree.
Yeah,
Brown is the best wideout in football, and I don't think Bryant's going to end up getting a huge free agent deal somewhere, and he's going to be the next part of Mike Wallace.
Yeah.
You know, as a defensive coordinator, if you're looking at Pittsburgh, you're just going, well, we're going to leave some poor bastard on Martavis Bryant and hope he does all right. I'm not saying Bryant's terrible. I'm just saying if he's not a compliment to Antonio Brown, he's a very mediocre receiver.
Yeah, he's Elvin Harper.
Yes. Willie Green back in the Detroit days. No, I'm with you on this. I like Pitt and the points. Plus, they're desperate.
Yeah. And this is probably their biggest rivalry game left. Now that Baltimore's in the shitter.
Yeah, fair enough.
They're not going to catch Cincinnati for the division, but if they lose this one, you can write them off.
No, I don't think they're going to catch for the division, but they're actually still in a pretty hairy fight for the wild card.
Well, that's what I mean. If they lose, they're done. Season over. Unless they get a ton of help.
Yeah,
so,
no.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just something in my gut. There's no real statistical reason. Like I should be all over Cincinnati in this one. But Pittsburgh's offense might be the scariest in football right now.
Yep.
And Cincinnati's still capable of those shit weeks.
Yeah.
And this is usually where Andy chokes on his own dick, so I'm going.
Let's see. It's an interesting test. If Andy comes through, I'll be thrilled. But I'm taking Pitt
you're out of your
anyway.
Fantasy playoffs anyway.
Oh, I know, but I've got him for $1 next year. I started thinking about next year about an hour after the podcast last night. So, next up, we have San Diego, 10-point underdogs at KC.
Does 10 not seem like a lot?
That I was going to take the points. Jesus.
It seems like a lot for a divisional game. Are they going to get 3 picks again? Like, the Chiefs were in trouble in that game in Oakland.
Yes, and that's exactly what I was going to bring up.
But
the defense stepped it up. Yeah, that's
like,
the
what do they have
thing.
left offensively? Like,
2 tight
are
ends.
they going to score 3 points again? San Diego?
KC's defense is good, but it's not great. And here's the thing. I think they can possibly hold KC to 17 like they did Denver.
Yeah, but can they score more than 3?
Yes.
Because you don't really have a wideout to speak of that really puts the fear of anything into anybody.
This one is
offensive line
hugely
is shambles.
dependent on whether Justin Houston plays.
Well, I still think they get to fucking Rivers without him.
They get to him, but he gets it out fast. Like, he's being swarmed. Like,
who's he throwing to? Gates?
Malcolm Floyd is still a deep threat when he gets 4 seconds, or at least 2.5 to 3. Gates Green is turning into an acceptable pass catching tight end, though we should probably pick up one who can block at some point. It's a rare call for me, but I'm taking San Diego in the points. I like KC, but I don't think that they're a 10-point favorite.
Oh,
now, admittedly, when I was logging our picks, how was Denver only 4 points? Like, that's
Osweiler.
I guess, but
and we're not playing, and
we could have made a lot of money fading San Diego, but we never bet them like that. But I'm taking San Diego this week. For once, I'll be able to cheer for both. All right, next up, we have Seattle at Baltimore. This is off the board, and I'm a little unclear why.
Schaub.
Is he hurt?
Yeah, he took a real fucking helmet smash right before that pick 6. So I think there's issues there.
Okay, well, let's play Predict the Lines then.
10 minimum.
Yeah, 10. Yeah.
Regardless of who's fucking starting, the only reason this is off the board, they want to know whether it should make it 10 or 14.
Well, and I'm going to take 13 plus.
Okay, I'll take the in between that.
Well, anything under 13, it goes to you.
No, I'm taking between 10 and 13.
Okay, so we could get no winner.
You can have 14 and above.
Well, yeah, and if it comes up under 10, if it comes up at all, I'll be shocked.
There's no way it's under 10. There's no way.
Yeah, you're right. It's an irrelevant argument.
If Kansas City's 10-point favorites over San Diego with Phillip Rivers quarterback and fucking Baltimore throwing out Schaub, or fuck, I don't even know who their third stringer is. Yeah, it's 10 minimum.
Yeah.
If it's under that, we should just bet it on principle.
Yeah, text me if you see a line come up. But it won't be under 10. I don't think we're quite that foolish.
No.
And, hey, Baltimore got me my 2 wins through wreaking horse shit on you, so now I'm walking away from Baltimore and Matt Schwab. I'm just so delighted to see him back in the league throwing pick sixes. Though Phillip Rivers has thrown 6 pick sixes this year.
Most in the league.
Yeah, I know. It's
He's
impressive.
Back to old Phil.
All right.
They might have to hire Wisenhunt back in the offseason.
2 of them at least were tip balls, but
I think your coach, fucking your old coordinator, was interviewing for a college head coaching job.
What part of a 3-8 team makes you a head coaching candidate? You're the offensive coordinator on a 3-8 team. Yeah, all right. Sign this guy up as our leader.
Well, we know there's circumstances beyond their control that's contributed to that record. So
yes, but
other people will look at that.
I suppose, but I would like to keep Frank Reich. But whatever. San Diego seems to be the farm team for coaches. We can't keep one for more than 2 fucking years and they get hired up.
Yeah, and then they don't succeed anywhere else. So.
I know. I don't get it. Confuses and frustrates me.
Okay, so are we both taking Seattle here, regardless?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Next up, we have San Fran plus 1.5 at Cleveland. I'm thinking this is our other underdog pick.
Yeah. Yeah, going over the lines before we started, this was one that jumped out at me.
Yeah. That was the main reason I was hesitating when you said Detroit was our underdog pick.
Well, I think we take them both. Fuck our underdog thing. We're only making ourselves pick one. We can pick more than one.
Yeah, I know. I've brought that up to you half dozen times over 12 weeks.
I like it.
No, Cleveland's a disaster.
Well, the coach came out and said, we're not a cohesive unit. There's tension here. When your head coach comes out, usually the head coach is the guy trying to push all that to the background. And now in Cleveland, they come right out and say it. Yeah, we're dysfunctional. It's a fucking shit show. And then, okay, what was the purpose of when the story came out yesterday of Manziel's going to be the starter going forward, and they denied it to announce it today?
Well, yeah, I saw that they announced the starter, and he'd announced the starter earlier, and then it's like the front office, oh no, we're not prepared to make that decision yet. So he retracted it, and then they came out and announced him as the starter today.
Yeah, so what?
This Farmer guy who chased, in my infamous drunken rant about Cleveland, you know, when they fired their coach about 2 years back, right?
Yeah.
This is an organization that is poisoned, and it's poisoned by its choice. It's not just a curse. This Farmer, who is the GM, president, or whatever, he is operating this like he is trying to control a drug cartel. He will assassinate anyone who speaks against him, is my opinion. He's the guy who was suspended for texting.
Yeah, the coaches during the games. Yeah.
Like, good God, how does he have a job? Anyway, yeah, no, I like San Francisco a lot in this game.
And Gabbard hasn't turned out to be a heaping pile of dog shit that we thought.
I mean, I will say one thing about this is two shitty teams, which is usually one of our flags.
Yeah, but San Francisco has a defense. That's the difference.
And they traveled to Chicago. I mean, Chicago's offense is light years ahead of Cleveland's.
Yeah.
Manziel, I'd prefer it was Austin Davis, but no, I think San Fran can...
I'll always go back to the Pittsburgh game where Manziel threw for 350 yards and they got 9 points. That's almost the equivalent of Rivers throwing for 500 and getting 20. So,
and Pittsburgh's defense is not fucking unassailable either.
No.
All right, the next game up we cannot bet. Tennessee is +7 at the Jets.
That line's too high right now. It should be like 4.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
They struggled to beat the Giants.
And
they're 7 points favorites at home.
I've called them frauds. No, I agree. And
the only thing that scares me is we couldn't, and while Robinson's faster than Brandon Marshall, but we couldn't stop. But by Bortles is better than Fitzpatrick. So
was it all speed that Tennessee was giving up with Robinson,
speed
though?
And scheme, but Robinson's just really good, too.
Yeah, so's Brandon Marshall and Decker. It's a pretty good wideout tandem, I have to say.
No, they're good, but they're not. Robinson's fucking fast and really good. He's top 10 receiver.
Oh, I agree.
Easy. So we
we discussed with Bryant, I like Hearns. I had him on, both fantasy teams all that year, but I recognize he is nothing more than a slipstream on a great receiver. It's the same sort of thing. That's how good Robinson is.
And Robinson's that new type of receiver. He's over 6 feet. He's fucking fast. It was something to watch. We had the 6th best pass defense in the league coming into the game, and we couldn't slow him down. But I don't think Fitzpatrick has that kind of game in him.
No.
He's not. Bortles is going to be good. and Fitzpatrick is a backup. So
I'm taking the points, and I actually think Tennessee has an outside chance to win this game.
we could. If we can keep the run game under control, we got a really good shot.
Well, and their run game was great for 4 games, and it's been fairly mediocre since then.
No, but that was our soft spot before that game against Jacksonville was the run.
Yeah, so you're going to get a heavy dose of Ivory. And if you can seal that, because even Yeldon had a good game against you last week. Solid game, 60 yards and a TD, okay. Something like that.
But yeah, they didn't have to run because they could, for whatever, I don't know what defense we were running. When we cranked up the blitz pressure in the fourth quarter, we were getting some heat. So I don't know what our game plan was on defense. It was a lot of zone, or seemed to be. But he was making catches even when we rolled the safety over on him. Like, it was just a weird fucking week. Robinson was catching anything that was near him. So
worst case scenario, I think for Tennessee.
Speed anymore.
I hope Mariota doesn't start running now that he's shown that he can. I still want to see him do what he was doing all fucking year, which is look downfield.
That wasn't like it was a designed run on that touchdown. He just got flushed out, and everything opened up. No, they're not. They only did a designed run a couple of times in that game.
Yeah, I don't want to see that happening because I think he's a better quarterback than a running back.
They're not at all. They only ran him a couple of times.
All right.
And I did see that Newton hit today.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, he thought he was just going to cruise to the pylon.
Yeah, going to saunter and was already planning his dance. Boom!
Ear hole. So.
Yeah, we discussed that in the podcast where it drove me nuts how he was pulling up to style. Anyway. Next up, we have Washington +3 at Chicago. I got no fucking idea, Boyd, and I don't want to bet this.
No, I don't either. Like, Chicago's defense has been pretty steady. Like, until in regulation, they're giving up about 20 a game. Or less over the last 6 weeks.
But Martellus Bryant was moved to IR today. And once Marshall left, that seemed to be Cutler's go-to target in the red zone. I don't know why, but he can't hit that tower named Alshon Jeffrey in the red zone.
Well, I think teams might double him a lot in the red zone.
Well, particularly with Benedout.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With Benedout, I think they just double cover him.
And then after that, I can't name a receiver. Can you?
Oh, Zach Miller's the other tight end. I know that. And then it's rookies. Oh, they got Mark Mariani.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Former Titan, he's there.
Yeah, who has speed and no hands. Yeah. Yeah, I watched him drop about 3 or 4 balls last Sunday. Wow. That said, I'm taking Chicago at home. But this is another coin flip where if you split with me, I'll probably take it.
Fuck. It's just weird. Like, -3, Chicago's -125. +3, Washington's +105.
Wow.
That just seemed fucking weird.
All the money's coming on Chicago, but not enough of a split to bump the line to 3.5.
They're begging you to bet Chicago. I'm taking Washington.
No, they're begging you to bet Washington. That's where the plus is.
Yeah.
You just said they're begging you to bet Chicago.
Okay, I misspoke.
But
I'm fading the public here.
All right.
I'm going Washington.
All right.
Because it's
always a good strategy.
It stinks when you see something like that. Like, it's not like Chicago's. Like, when you see minus 125, that's usually for, like, New England or Carolina given points.
Yeah, usually it doesn't get to the 125 without the line moving. Right? If there was that much action on Chicago, they'd usually bump it to 3.5.
And you can't bet the money line on this game.
Really?
Which is
no, funny. It's Tuesday night. Usually we don't see the money lines.
Yeah, they're up for every other game except the ones that are off the board.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm following the public blindly. I'm a man of the people. All right.
I'm fading them.
Next up, we have Oakland +7 at Denver. Another one I don't want to go near.
I don't want to bet either, but I think Denver crushes them. Just defensively. The way Denver shut down San Diego, Kansas City turned Oakland over a ton last week.
But San Diego's defense, which, let's face it, is not good.
Or Derek Carr.
Only gave up 17. And 7 was on a quick opening drive when we couldn't seem to decide who was covering Thomas.
I'm betting it on fucking the defense like I've been betting Denver all year.
Yeah.
I was betting on them when they had fucking Manning throwing ducks. I'm not going against it now. At home, against the Raiders. Divisional game. The Broncos need to keep winning. If Oakland gets to 10 points, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, and if Denver gets to 20, I'll be shocked. I'm taking Oakland. All right. Next up, we have Dallas +7 at Green Bay. Another one I don't want to touch.
Well, I don't want to touch it either, but Dallas's defense has been playing pretty well through all this shit. That's the one forgotten thing in their losing streaks was the defense was playing well.
Well, and did you find out the entire coaching staff was neutralized by the power issues and or Microsoft's tablets breaking down?
No.
Yeah, both teams were not allowed to communicate via tablet or printer or anything that has been around since the 1970s.
Oh, because
one
of the sidelines was out.
Yeah. Which may have contributed to the 0-0 and,
Yeah, but it's still, Dallas, like Seattle beat them 13-12. Dallas hasn't been getting blown out even though their quarterbacks fucking stink.
Yeah, and Green Bay stole that win the previous week.
They played one good game in like 5-6 weeks. And they still keep getting the fucking big spread. I'm taking Dallas to cover.
You're taking Dallas?
Fucking points.
Yeah, I'm reluctant, but I'm following you on this.
They had one good game.
I think they can shut down Green Bay's offense for the most part. It's hard to go with Matt Castle under any circumstances.
I know, but I'm betting this is another game. I'm betting on Dallas's defense to keep it close.
Yep.
Like Detroit isn't a world beater defense. They shut them out in the first half.
Yep.
And only allowed, 18 points in Green Bay? And it took a fucking miracle drive to get that?
Green Bay's lost their last 2 games at home. It's not like they're unassailable there.
No.
Now,
this spread should be 4 or 5, not 7.
Yes. And I'm going to go and follow you on this on the principle that I don't know that Green Bay's good enough to be favored by 7 on anybody right now. San Diego went to Green Bay and lost by 7 even.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have New England -3 at Houston. I'd like to stay away from both these teams.
Yeah.
Fuck, I've just been fucking up both of them so terribly. And until New England proves that they can score, as injured as they are,
they would score because Philly had given up 45 the last 2 weeks prior. They needed a late touchdown, onside kick recovery touchdown to get to 28. Their offensive line's a mess. They lost another offensive lineman on Sunday. You got J.J. Watt and Clowney, who are playing really well right now. They're fighting for their playoff lives.
They're the number 3 seed in the AFC right now.
Brady has nobody to throw to.
No. When Amendola is your best.
Who's the number 3 seed? Patriots.
Yeah. That said, I'm taking New England.
Fuck, why do I want to take Houston? This is another example where it's at minus 120 and the line didn't move. New England's lost 2 in a row. They haven't lost 3 in a row. They've got the longest streak outside of the 49ers. Fuck. Good things got to end. Give me Houston.
All right. Lots different this week. And the final game of the week, New York Giants minus 1.5 at Miami. And I don't hate the Giants in this.
I don't either. Miami's awful.
They're terrible. I mean, Tannehill, I brought it up last night in the podcast, was like 9 of 7 of 6. He was under 50% for under 100 yards, and they tagged that win. For all we were just saying that there's maybe a bit of overhype on Beckham, he's fucking good.
Yeah.
Even in his oven mitt, Jason Pierre-Paul did provide a little more pressure than New York had shown all year.
Yeah, and that helps your pass defense too.
Yeah.
Which in Miami, they don't have anybody. Well, who was it? Landry had 9 yards, I think, on Sunday, receiving.
Oh, and a fumble, I think. So he got me negative points. In the league I played him, not the money. But,
yeah.
And
the Giants make no sense. What have they lost 4 games in like either overtime or the last minute?
Yeah.
Something like that. I can't see him losing to Miami. Miami's defense isn't that great. Their offense is horrible. Lamar Miller's not a bad back on a decent team. He'd be a good back.
He's very average.
Yeah, but he's 70 yards last week. That's not bad. Like he's a
yeah, but they
back.
only threw the ball 18 times. That was 70 yards on 45, 50 carries. Adai is a better back there, I think. Is it Adai? It's something like that. But no, I still like the Giants here, and I think that's maybe in the mix.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 4 games to decide upon 3. I like both our underdogs just to start on the money line.
What was our other?
The Niners and Detroit.
No, what's the other one beside the Giants?
Buffalo minus 1 at Philly.
Okay, we're going Detroit, San Francisco, and the Giants.
You know, like, yeah, fair enough.
Philadelphia.
Plus, I've gotten a lot better at Philly, but I still struggle with them, so.
Okay, so we're taking Detroit plus 1 on the money line. in St. Louis. $10 bet is going to pay $19.52. Booked. And where's the other one? San Francisco at Cleveland on the money line, plus 105. $10 bet pays $20.50. Yeah, no big so far if they hit. And we're taking the Giants in Miami, minus 1.5. It's at minus 110. Our $10 bet pays $19.09.
All right.
And if Seattle happens to come in anywhere under 10, I think we're going to bet that too.
Fair enough.
So Platinum Howler, get off my dick.
To recap, we have Detroit on the money line. 10 pays $19.52 to beat Jeff Fisher. We have the Gabbert-led San Francisco 49ers on the road to beat Cleveland. $10 pays $20.50. And we have the New York Giants minus 1.5 on the road at Miami. $10 pays $19.09.
All right. If you want to check out our podcast, you can listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device. On our website, offensivelines.ca. Follow us on Twitter at Offensive Lines for any updates to our blog posts or when a new podcast is available. Facebook.com/Offensive Lines. And if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon, and that was our pick show for Week 14.
Degenerate fucking gambler.